Catus Maximus here, this time with a quick review of the American-made Lisle 57250. This is the older style heavy-duty steering wheel lock plate tool. Most of them are actually, even the Lisles are almost all these basic stamped steel. I did review this performance tool. This is obviously much better than performance tool. Here's the depression bolt on this one. Here's the little bolts on this PT version I reviewed a while ago. They come with two fittings for metric and fractional. And here, let me put up an image of what a steering wheel lock plate is. It's just a thing where you pull out the key and your steering doesn't turn, the anti-theft. That's a big steel plate that's behind the steering wheel. So this is after you've removed the nut, used the puller to pull off the steering wheel, and then there's that spring-loaded plate, and all this is doing is just threading onto the screws on the end of the steering wheel nub and pressing down on that plate so you can fiddle with the little circlip or snap ring that holds the lock plate on. As soon as you pull off the snap ring, and then you can slide it all apart. Anyway, I'll put up in the left here. Here's a image of the steering wheel lock plate, and the arrow is pointing towards the snap ring that you're trying to get at. Anyway, performance tool one sucks. Their warranty totally sucks. Unconditional lifetime warranty, but you have to have proof of purchase, and you have to pay to send it to them, and include prepaid postage, which that means is that you also have to include stamps or envelopes. You have to pay for shipping back. Performance tools warranty is a kind of a joke, but some auto parts stores will warranty them in-house. Otherwise, they're a joke. The newer Lisles, once again, are the same as this, and that's what's unfortunate is you have to dig around and try to find this old style. Really nice. They have brass fittings on the bag. Kind of surprised. Lisle is still an American-made, privately owned company. They make a lot of specialty tools. A lot of their socketry and stuff, they make like e-torques and that type of thing, aren't the hardest. They're like a mid-grade tool company, but at least they've not sold out, and they're still around. Anyway, so you have kind of narrower lock plates and wider lock plates, and so that's why there's two fittings, and so you just have these two bolts here. These are the legs. So this thing, the legs are this, but on this you just get this nice rigid plate. You take these things, you thread them down as much as you needed to. I'm using the narrow fitting here. This is just like a sheared piece of steel, but nonetheless, it's like a half-inch thick piece of steel. This is definitely way heavy-duty compared to their, whatever it is, 57350. The way this works is it's two different methods. You have these are aluminum parts. This is aluminum, and this is aluminum. Everything else is steel, including a steel nut. So you have one for fractional, and you have one for metric. So if you're using the fractional one, you're just going to flip this around, you're going to thread these down, you're going to thread this on to the end of the steering column, and then the whole point is you use the nut, and the nut pushes this down. That kind of gets caught up a little bit in there. But the nut pushes this down, pushing those legs against that lock ring and holding it so you can fiddle with the snap ring once again. If you're using a metric, then you just take this piece, thread it on, and then use this the other way. Anyway, I kind of want to show people. I was stoked to have found this at the junk store. I find lots of cool stuff at the junk stores. And it was just kind of cool to see what a much better quality, even though Lisle's mid-grade, this particular lock plate tool is actually pretty overbuilt. It's actually something pretty worthy. And they do pop up on eBay, so I wanted to do a video of that. They're often missing parts, either these bolts, which aren't a big deal because you can just go buy any old bolts. And if you're missing the nut, you can replace that nut pretty easily. Really, the big deal is this plate and then these two adapters here. That's really what makes up the set. The other three parts you can replace, but it's a 6-piece set. There are a couple on eBay that were incomplete, so that's kind of the other purpose of making this video. But thought that was kind of cool. This is what a heavier duty lock plate tool looks like. I don't know, I haven't owned any of the truck brand ones, but this is certainly much better than these stamped steel U-shaped things. These things are just ridiculous. I mean, I guess they work because that lock plate doesn't have a super, stout spring on it. But nonetheless, this is a much nicer one. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.